Back to Iowa here. Of course, the GOP race, but you know, something, and Nora, this is very, very interesting, and I didn't know this until yesterday. The candidate, well, the reason I know it is because you told me. The candidate
That's a good way to learn things.
Who has more offices and more people out here than anybody on the Republican side is none other than
Barack Obama, the president.
Obama. He likes to remind people that Iowa voted Democratic in the last general election, and he is hoping that the same thing will happen this November. And joining us, well, tell us about it.
Former president's case here is his former communications director, Jenn Psaki, who is now a Democratic consultant and joins us. Jenn, you were involved in Iowa, certainly last time when the Democrats and Barack Obama got a ticket out of here. He beat John Edwards and, of course, Hillary Clinton, and that sort of gave him sort of the momentum to go on and win the Democratic nomination. But I have to ask you about, we've certainly heard from the president's campaign officials that you have more campaign offices than the Republicans, that you've made more voter-to-voter contact, that this is all important. And yet, we've seen in this state, Republican registration has grown. Iowa is a state in the general election that Barack Obama will have to win. And the numbers are not so great for President Obama here. What's happened?
Well, first of all, it's great to be back in Iowa. I was reflecting last night on the plane, all the great memories from 4 years ago when the president began his historic campaign really here, as you referenced. You know, I will say this campaign is about a choice, and the president right now is not only continuing his conversation with the people of Iowa tomorrow evening, he'll be live streaming into caucuses across the state, but he's ready to have a conversation and a debate about who has the better vision for moving the country forward, the better vision for the economic security of the middle class. And right now, we're not ending our campaign tomorrow evening, as many of the Republicans will be. We'll still be here on Wednesday. So this is just a step in the process, and we're really looking forward to having that debate when there's a nominee from the Republican side.
Jen, let me ask you the question that I hear from a lot of Democrats, and frankly, they are disappointed. They think the president should have done more. What happened to this presidency? It got off on such a great feeling of hope, and then all of a sudden it was, well, it's not as bad as it could have been. It could have been worse.
Well, Bob, I think the worst economic crisis in a generation is what happened. And I hope everybody takes a moment to reread the president's speech he gave when he won the Iowa caucuses 4 years ago, because he made a promise to the people of Iowa and the American people that he would fight for affordable and accessible health care, that he would fight for a middle-class tax cut, that he'd end the war in Iraq, and he's done exactly those things. But the journey's not over yet, and the job isn't done. And I think what you'll hear him talking about is that over the next coming months and the next year and hopefully the next 5 years is what he's going to do to continue to get this country back on track.
Do you think, on reflection, and it's always easy in hindsight, the rear view mirror is always a great view, but do you think on reflection he would have been better to attack the economic problems first and then go to health care?
Well, that's exactly what he did. He attacked the economic problems. He passed a stimulus package that put millions of people back to work. He continued on that path.
But, I mean, unemployment is higher now than it was
but the
then.
economic crisis was far worse than anyone thought. And it's something that we've all been dealing with. There's nothing more he would like to do today, next week, the week after, than continue to pass pieces of the American Jobs Act so that we can continue on the path to recovery. And he's not going to give up hope of that over the next couple of months, even while Republicans running fail to talk about what they're going to do for middle-class families.
All right, Jenn Psaki, good to see you here in Iowa.
Good to see you, too.
Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.